And we're singing. We're singing. Time to talk. Beauty and the Bitch.
Oh my God, Morgan.
Yeah.
I am so excited for today's episode.
Me too. This is so up our alley.
You know what? Let me tell you, I think I prepared more for this episode than any episode we have ever done.
Oh shit, that's
yes.
That's
I watched
a weird choice to be
everything.
honest.
Did you know that originally they were going to have it turn into a T-Rex? They were going to have him turn into like some kind of stegosaurus, but then, well, I read this book. Actually, I read 3 books about it.
What?
And, what?
I didn't watch the special feature, so like maybe there was like, and she did kind of go off script, even though a lot of it is canon information, and she can just reintroduce canon into like later stuff because she is the creator. So there's like no reason, but like that thing that you're talking about, confusing. Is that like confused. A hippogriff?
No,
like a Tyrannosaurus
no, okay.
hippogriff
First of all,
bird?
Beast Wars was like, I mean, I would love if a woman did create it and write it, but I don't think that there are any women involved. Actually,
baby,
sadly.
we're not doing Beast Wars this week. We're doing Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
What?
Part 1 or whatever.
Collusion.
Yeah.
Collusion. Morgan,
Baby,
I've done so much work. I don't know anything about Fantastic Beasts Part 1.
Girl, you and the people who wrote the script.
Well, queen. I'm just going to have to pull a Morgan and fake it.
Oh! I don't know if it's about orgasms or my general podcasting knowledge, but it is about my career.
It is a twofer right there, yeah.
So sometimes I really do fake it till I make it in my career,
Sure.
and I have to tell you guys, it's gotten me far.
Heck yeah.
Shout out to my bosses out there. What up, baby?
She doesn't know what she's doing.
Keep me employed.
Give her a raise.
But really, if my coworkers are listening, please don't relay this information.
Don't tell the people in charge that I am useless. No, you're amazing, Morgie. Everyone's lucky to work with you that does.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But back to me.
Reading all of the books and watching all the Beast Wars, that was a faux pas, but I'm going to have to say, it's got to play in somehow.
You know what? On the whole, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I fucking love Beast Wars, so it worked out okay.
Babies, we are here today to talk about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. So welcome back to Beauty and the Bitch. I am Morgan.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a Beast Wars expert.
Yes, Mickey sure enough is. And before we move on to Fantastic Beasts, let's just talk about Beast Wars for a minute.
Okay.
It was possibly one of the greatest offshoots of the Transformers series ever.
Yes. I think so.
My
personal fave.
Yeah.
It's my personal fave.
Classic, well-loved.
Well, here's my
bullshit.
This is the way I think about it, is like, I don't judge anyone for liking Transformers, but that is a type of person who's into vehicles, okay? I've never been into a fire truck. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just doesn't do it for me. It was never my hope. But now a dinosaur? A gorilla?
That's what's up.
That's what I liked as a child.
That is what's up.
And that's also a different kind of nerd.
What do you mean a robot cheetah? Tell me more.
How could
Cheetor?
Oh,
Cheetor is like a built-in Halloween costume.
And let me tell you something, too. You should never trust someone named Cheetor.
Yeah, like
Girl.
It's in the name.
You should know.
Like they're a cheater.
Yeah.
Cheater. Pumpkin. Yeah. Eater.
And you know what's sad about that? There are no pumpkins in that universe. I never once saw a pumpkin.
Because pumpkins are not, they don't transform into pumpkins.
Ain't you ever seen Cinderella?
This isn't
a pumpkin done transform into a carriage.
Veg Wars. We're not like, it's not like VeggieTales meets Transformers.
Can you imagine
though that should be a thing. They're like mushroom boticus.
Cucumber.
Funginus.
Oh my God.
I don't know. There's like tomato tour. There's a lot of great things
I'm
that it could
pretty into
be.
that, actually. I'm actually really into that. Why not?
Okay, let's make that happen.
I think we should do that, yeah.
And speaking of things that are invented, prequels to the Harry Potter series.
Okay.
So we're moving right in to the fucking Fantastic franchise, which is going to be five movies across like the next eternity of your life.
Next decade, probably.
So it's going to be these 5 movies, and then, girl, honestly, it's probably going to be like something like this is not it. And we have discussed that Harry Potter, the film franchise, is of an age now that reboots are a very real future possibility. And now that we have the onslaught of so many different streaming services, there's a lot of options for what the future of Harry Potter is going to look like. We've already moved into the stage platform with Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. We're moving into this prequel situation that's, we'll have some feelings about here in a minute, and the future of that. And then the possibilities are endless. And J.K. Rowling is... I will say that I feel like verbally she's like, I'm very careful about the projects that I choose. And I see what she was trying to do with the Fantastic Beasts series. I think I personally think the Cursed Child is like less of a reach because it picks up at the epilogue. So it has like this pre-existing thing. Whereas like all this Fantastic Beasts stuff is introducing like brand new canon information. We're just like getting new shit left and right.
For example, I mean, now it may have been on Pottermore before, but Ilvermorny, right? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Ilvermorny?
Ilvermorny. Yeah.
So, yeah, like, we didn't know about that.
I don't know if it was introduced on Pottermore first or in the Fantastic... Probably Pottermore.
Probably, but we never saw it or heard about it.
With this film franchise in mind, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And like, you know, it's interesting because Rowling she's the writer, screenwriter, and one of the executive producers. So she's very hands-on with this.
Yeah.
I mean...
That means she's hands deep in the problematic things, too.
Exactly.
Which is a choice for her.
We kind of have to... And I don't blame her for doing more Harry Potter stuff because we clamored for it. We all did. When it ended, we were like, please give us something more.
I'm not mad. Like, there are definitely things about the first Fantastic Beasts film that I don't love, but will I be watching the second one? Yes. Yeah. If she turns out a third through a 5, will I be there? Yeah. If she invents another thing, will I buy it? I will.
I think, you know, I think they should do in the future. We have no power, but they should do, like a TV series that's set at Hogwarts, but it's like a generation before. Have we talked about that before? I think that would be good. I want like a...
What do you mean by generation? Like,
like
a Molly, like a circa Molly and Arthur in school?
Yes.
Because I'd be into that.
Yes. I want to see like all those people.
I don't want to see Tom Riddle in school. I don't want to... I feel like we kind of get that.
That's like 2 generations before.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But, like, I'd be so into, like, the James and Lily and Molly and Arthur era.
And Lupin. And, I mean, we could see Sirius as, like, a young, attractive bully. And, like... Yeah. It could be very much like a Mean Girl sort of feel. But I guess mostly with boys, because they're mostly boys.
Very into that.
I think it would be really good.
So, if... Out of all of the streaming options, things that she could choose to make an original Harry Potter series on, what platform do you think is most aligned with her? I have an idea.
Oh, okay.
But I want to know yours.
You want to? Should I go first?
Yeah, you go
first. Okay. I'm going now.
Okay.
I'm going before you.
Okay.
I think it should be on HBO because Game of Thrones is going to be done soon, and I think a big budget Hogwarts: The Untold Story TV series could be their new, though.
So to me, the HBO aspect begs the question.
It's more adult.
How adult is she willing to go? Not like that it's a full fuck fest, but how much more adult is she willing to get with like the violence and like not necessarily the adult. I don't think there's a world where J.K. Rowling brings like sex to the forefront of Harry Potter, but like there is a lot of violence and other things that could be like amplified if HBO was the platform.
I do kind of take that back immediately, but I want to hear your idea.
To me, she seems like an Amazon Prime bitch.
You think Amazon Prime?
Because like Amazon Prime puts out those big budget things, but it is not a sexy streaming service. Like it's not well known for that, but it does takes something that could be on a network TV and like really brings it up like 5 levels. Like for example, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a comedy. It's really a dramedy series that's doing really well on Amazon Prime right now. I love season 1, and it's by Amy Sherman Palladino, who is the creator of The Gilmore Girls. And it's basically the adult content that's heightened from like what something like a Gilmore Girls is like largely language. And there's like one bit of nudity and it's used in comedy. Like it's not like a sexual nudity. And then like everything else could just be on Fox or ABC or like whatever. It's really like the language and like the ability to be like, I can literally say whatever the fuck I want, and I can use my full range of emotions, and I can use breasts as humor. Is like the purpose of Amazon to me.
You know what? I'm going to take back my answer. I think Amazon Prime or Netflix would be better choices, I think, overall. Because Netflix does have the money.
For some reason, I just don't feel like she would go for Netflix. Like, it's not, like, classy enough for her. Or, like, I don't know. She just seems like an Amazon Prime bitch to me.
I could see it. Definitely not Hulu.
I would love for it. No, not Hulu. She's not Hulu, bitch. No. I would love to see it on Netflix because I think the accessibility of Netflix is that it's the greatest
and she does care
platform
about that
with the greatest reach.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think she really... That's why I would say Netflix is because she does... She's very interested in making media that appeals to the entire world, right? And I think Netflix would be an obvious partner in that, but so would Amazon. Yeah, I agree with you. HBO's a dream, but that's not a dream that would ever happen because they don't do... It's not adult.
It's not dirty enough.
It's not adult enough, yeah. Well, what did you think of Fantastic Beasts?
So, I think there's a lot of problems with the storyline. It really... Like, let me come out and say I've seen Fantastic Beasts 3 times. I saw it the first time in theaters, and then I watched it on an airplane one time because it was like the best choice available, and then I rewatched it for this podcast. To me, it doesn't have great rewatchability power. Like 3 times is like a little bit too many for me, and I'll probably not be rewatching it again. Maybe ever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, it's not a thing. Like, I can't imagine this movie series is going to be a real bingeable situation. And my biggest problem with this first movie is that the plot line is very weak and a little forced. Like, I honestly think this series has a good vision. Like, I think the vision of the Grindelwald arc has a lot of power behind it. Like, there's a lot to be done with that. Whether or not it's going to be done well or correctly is another story. But I think just the idea of that story to me is intriguing.
I agree, because she could have picked any character or a completely new character, and she chose essentially Grindelwald and Newt Scamander, which I thought was smart. I was like, there are stories to be told there. You know, I agree. Yeah.
And they're familiar, but they're like background noise. Like, they mattered for sure. Like, they affected the arc of like the original series, but like we don't know that much. You know what I just
realized? I'm sorry to interrupt. But this is amazing. We're going to see a young Professor McGonagall at some point in these movies, aren't we? Fuck yes! Young Professor McGonagall!
It's going to play young.
You're looking at her. It's me! I hereby volunteer to play young
You are
Professor
a young
McGonagall.
Dame Maggie Smith?
Yes!
That's you?
I mean, you know, I got better looking as I got older, but, you know, it's a good start.
That's fierce as fuck.
Right, that's going to be super exciting.
I don't know who could play her.
No, I have no ideas. Amy Adams.
Weirdly, maybe like Claire Foy, because she's a really hot actress right now.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty good character actress.
And she's not in this movie, I don't think. So it'd have to be the next one. So it'll be in like maybe say 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I think we are going to see her. Because
I think you're right.
We're going to do a separate episode for the second one that's coming out, and we'll talk more about them. But we're seeing young Dumbledore in that one, so young McGonagall's got to come along soon.
Totally,
because they've been friends forever.
So. Okay, so my personal feelings about this film.
Yes.
So there are problematic things. There are also things I really love. Like, I think Eddie Redmayne cast as Newt Scamander he's so good at that role.
Yeah, I agree.
We have professed our Eddie Redmayne love previously. He is a perfect genius goddess of an alien human.
Yeah, he's so
we don't
stunningly
deserve.
Beautiful and talented.
And yeah, he's fantastic in that role. I think the guy they cast as like his American friend is fantastic.
Yeah, a newcomer, at least to my eyes. Very funny.
Yeah. He was great.
His
cute little
giggling
sidekick
throughout
character.
the movie is funny.
His
laughter.
He's like the kind of guy that you would like definitely want to be friends with.
Yeah.
Other problematic things about this film besides the weak storyline is the play up of CGI a lot of times seemingly for like the 3D stuff.
Yeah.
Which like we don't care for 3D movies, so we don't really want to see a movie that's like, did you catch that 3D thing?
Right.
Like, we caught it and we are throwing it back to you.
The first time you go into the suitcase is very like, it's beautiful, But I remember...
I like that shot from the outside, but once you get in the suitcase, it's like, okay.
And all the different worlds and stuff he has in there, like within that suitcase. I remember, so like you, I saw it for the first time in theaters, like when it came out, more or less, in Arkansas, in Cabot. Is where I saw it, funnily enough.
What?
Yeah, I was home. In Arkansas. I watched it at the Cabot. Shout out to the Cabot movie theater.
Is it called the Silver Screen stuff?
I think so, yeah.
Remember we used to go see like $2 Tuesdays?
Yeah. I don't know if they'd be having those dollar days no more, but... No. But I remember even watching that, I was like, ooh, this would be better on an IMAX. You know what I mean? It's that kind of movie. You can tell they made it for the spectacle.
It was not good on the airplane screen, I can tell you that.
Oh, I bet that's true. And I just rewatched it on my TV like you for the podcast, and it didn't. I lost... some of its magic. I won't say all, but definitely some of its magic, you know? So that's kind of a bummer because, like, you can only watch it on a big screen very rarely, if ever. So, kind of a bum there.
And it's like, a cool thing is that you get to experience this new, like, the American side of the wizarding world. But, like, somehow some of the, just like the British wizarding world, like, everyone in a position of power doesn't have their shit together. But, like, even more somehow. And, like, some stuff is, like, really dumb. Like, why don't we call all, like, muggles? Like, why do the Americans have a new word for it?
Which is horrible.
No-maj.
It's horrible. That's so inferior to muggle.
A
no-maj. That doesn't roll off the tongue.
It's like, stop trying to make fetch happen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Gold hoops are my thing, you know? Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. No. Are those the big down point? I agree with those points. But I have at least one big other one that you haven't mentioned.
I'm going to let you take the one that I definitely know you're talking about.
You're going to let me handle the big one?
Yeah, but I think to me the biggest letdown is just that, like, it's a cool idea, but it seemed like the script was just, like, haphazard and, like, I just didn't really care that much about anything. Like, there was no wait. There was a lot going on all the time. It's a long movie. It's, like, 2 hours and 20 minutes. And, like, the stakes for me personally were really low.
I should say, it should be obvious, but this movie came out, like, years ago. We are spoiling the movie in this episode.
R.I.P. people who haven't seen this.
Well, I don't think we've done anything big spoily so far, but we're about to get into some big spoilers.
Yeah. Your complaint is a big spoily.
It is a big spoily. So if you haven't seen the movie, I mean... You should watch it.
Plus,
you can rent it on Amazon Prime. Oh, no, it's available streaming on Netflix, I think.
It's on HBO for free right now.
Oh, HBO. So I have Hulu and have the HBO add-on. That's where I watched it. But okay, so I think the big fail of this movie, with a few exceptions, including Eddie Redmayne, is the casting. I think the casting's all over the place. Yeah. I agree with you that I like Dan Fogler as Jacob.
Dan Fogler, yeah.
Kowalski. Yeah. Kowalski. I thought he was good. Yeah. I really like Alison Sudor as Queenie.
Yes, Queenie
was
good.
She's very charming.
If I could have been anyone in this movie, I would have been Queenie.
She's just lovely. Like, very likable. And, like, I thought her relationship with Jacob was really... It felt authentic to me.
Sweet. And
in a way that it shouldn't, because she's so beautiful. It's like,
and
why
she's
would you
a
go for him?
Legilimens, which is a really cool thing that's canon from the original series in Harry Potter that we learned about. It's people who can read minds. And it's a very intense skill. So she is a very gifted witch. Oh, yeah. She's a very gifted witch.
Oh, yeah. And she can't really even turn it off. That's another thing I thought was interesting. Is like, at one point, she's reading Newt's mind. And he's like, please stop. And she's like, I'm sorry, but I can't. When you're upset, it's like blaring in my head, essentially. Yeah. She doesn't say it like that because she's way more polite. But I thought that was interesting because in another, like, universe, that's hell. She's a crazy person that's driven her insane. And, like,
you know what I mean? She needs her some occlumency lessons with Professor Snape. A couple weeks of that shit, she'll turn it right off.
Don't nobody like to hang out with Snape, but it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. He may smell like hair grease. He may actually be just a grease ball, but that man knows something.
He's smart.
He's a smart man. Now, for the record, before I get to what I think were the big fails, before Eddie Redmayne was hired, Nicholas Hoult was considered.
No.
You don't think so? I think he would have been good. I love Nicholas Hoult. I love Nicholas Hoult.
I think he's, like, sexy as hell.
Yes.
And I enjoyed the things I've seen him in. Like, I think he's a good actor.
Yes. I don't think he's... it may not be fair to say this, but I don't think he's quite as talented as Eddie Redmayne, just based on like the kind of roles.
Different.
I think they're both beautiful.
Yeah, they're both gorgeous.
Like in the same kind of way.
And he is quirky. Like he would bring a different kind of quirk to this, but like it's almost just like I can't imagine someone else doing this role.
I think it's the perfect role for Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah.
I mean, he's perfect cast.
Yeah.
So, less perfect cast. I honestly do not like Catherine Waterston as
she the brown hair
Tina
girl?
Goldstein. Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like that character. I think it's badly written.
I don't like that character, and I think she was kind of trash in this film. But she kind of looks hype in the new trailer for the second film.
Okay, maybe they're gonna.
She got her a new haircut, and like she has like a little bit.
She get that mustard off her lip finally?
Maybe.
Girl.
She seems to have a little different vibe going for her in the second film. I'm not saying that she's going to be better, but from the trailer, she might be.
I remember when I saw it in theaters, and then especially when I rewatched it, it's just every time it was time for her scene, or like she had a moment, I was like, I don't buy the chemistry with Eddie Redmayne.
There's none.
Which is freakish.
It does not exist.
And there are times when I like cheer for her, but then I'm also like, are you quirky or are you by the book analytical person? You know? Yeah. Because to me, those two things don't go together. Luna Lovegood is not Hermione. You know what I mean? Like, generally people aren't, I don't know. It just, her character just doesn't make sense to me.
And it's bland and like.
She is bland.
And also, again, the script is not great. So like, it certainly didn't give her a lot to work with, but like, it also didn't give Eddie Redmayne a lot to work with.
And he did it.
And he brought a lot.
Well, he got a lot more than her, though, being a main character. Yeah. But I agree with you. I just think she was miscast. I'm not saying this is... You know who I think would be better? I just thought of someone. They would probably never hire her because she's American. But I think Emma Stone would have rocked that role. Give me some Emma Stone in that role. Or someone like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, frankly,
plucky.
A little bit more... Yes. Like, sexy plucky as opposed to, like... confusing quirky. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not saying she has to sell sex, have a low-cut shirt or anything, but like there's something about Emma Stone. I feel like she could have rocked that role because she plays roles like that a lot. I could
totally see that.
Okay, but I think God, now we're getting into the really horrible casting. Before we do horrible though, Ezra Miller as Credence Barebone or something? Credence, whatever. Yeah. Credence. Amazing. Yeah. I thought amazing.
He's talented in that he acts a lot with his face and his like mannerisms, and Credence is a very quiet character. So yeah, he did a fantastic
very few
job.
Lines. Why? He can't have more than 15 lines. Most of them at the very end.
Yeah, he doesn't talk a lot, and also
30 lines. Maybe.
Spoilers for like the second movie and spoilers for the first movie, like. But he's in the second movie?
Yeah, some part of him. So at the end of the first movie, I'm sure you all remember, what's that thing called? Little black swirly thing?
It's a...
No. All I can think is occlumency now. I thought I wrote it down.
It's a...
I knew we were going to forget this word. I knew we were going to forget it. I literally wrote it down so we wouldn't, but I don't know where. Well, anyway, Morgan's going to look it up. When a wizard or witch isn't allowed to be witchy, they develop this kind of like dark side that's very violent and very powerful. And as I'm sure you remember, Credence has such a dark side. It's something
Obscurus.
An obscurus. Which, by the way, confusing. Am I wrong? This confused me.
Yes.
Why didn't Harry Potter become an obscurus?
Because he was repressed and stuff?
Yeah,
because he had his mother's love or some shit.
Oh my good God. Okay.
But
I wish his mama would kiss me and just bless my whole life in every way.
But supposedly, you remember Ariana Dumbledore died. So Dumbledore's little sister famously died, and it was always blamed on a cross-family duel that had a lot to do with like Dumbledore like trying to leave. Spending a lot of time with like Grindelwald and like trying to leave for this big trip and like being torn between essentially like his life and career goals versus like his responsibility for his family. And he and his brother Aberforth got in a duel, and Ariana was in the middle, and she supposedly died. But she was always, quote unquote, a very sick little girl, and it is... I don't think it's been confirmed. I think they're going to confirm it in the movies.
Yeah.
So it's like this really big fan theory that's basically like, y'all, this is what it is. That she was an obscurus. And because when she died, like, there was a lot of turmoil and debris. And, like, there was, like, an explosion. And it was, like, all that stuff. So basically what happened with Credence, we think, happened with Ariana.
And she had that period. I forget where we learned this, but... where, like, a bunch of Muggle kids, like, threw rocks at her and, like, bullied her really bad.
Yeah, she got, like... And honestly, like, I felt like the subtext was, like, she was harassed in other ways.
Yeah.
By, like,
oh,
these
you mean,
Muggles.
like, sexually?
Yeah, like, maybe.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
She was harassed, for sure.
Yeah.
And bullied. And
bullied
like,
at the very least, perhaps.
Maybe, like, light torture.
Yeah. Well.
I love in Arrested Development, they always refer to, like, the things they do as, like, light treason. They're like, it's like... treason, but like barely.
It's light,
just barely treason.
Just hanging out with the Russian ambassador.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Build houses in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, just talk about Hillary's dirt. Everybody's talking about Hillary's dirt.
I just liked a Facebook page.
Just drinking vodka. Okay, so so Ezra Miller, he's the last of the good ones, really, in my mind. Let me just tell you, now, this might just be my bias. I'm not saying this is true or right, but I don't like Colin Farrell. I didn't like him in the role. I don't like him on my screen. I don't think he's sexy, and I don't want to see any more movies with him. I'm done.
I don't like him either. I don't think he's sexy either. I don't care for his acting. But I thought his hair looked fly as hell in this film. He was rocking dude, he looked fly. And like whoever was doing costumes, actually all of the costuming for this film was stunning. Fantastic.
The president lady, I loved her look.
Yes.
Oh, I forget her name now. I was going to write it down.
I just looked her up yesterday to see what else she was in.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous.
And very fierce. Yeah, you're right. He did look, even though I don't like his face, his look was for him, because I agree with you. I think this is like one of his best looks ever on record in film. No, I'm into that.
He looked good.
No.
Yeah.
I just didn't like him as, what's his name? Percival Graves, who's like supposedly
What's
like a
name?
detective, an R, you know. I just don't... You know, I think I've said this before. I said this about someone else. I forget now who, but I stand beside it. He reminds me of, like, the straight, rude men that we grew up with. And I just don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested.
Also, I saw The Lobster, and I'll never be the same again.
Oh, I've heard he's really good in that.
No, fuck that movie. That movie is a piece of fucking trash, and it scarred me, and it ruined me, and it was awful, and it's literally one of the things where I was like, I wish that had never happened to me. I wish I had never seen it. Is it a horror movie? It is to me.
Have you seen In Bruges?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I've heard he's amazing.
It's really artsy.
Oh, okay. I might get bored.
It's really artsy.
I might get bored. That's also the thing. Like, I haven't seen Colin Farrell in a bunch of stuff, so maybe I'm not like giving him fair. But just when I see his face, I dislike.
He was in this movie called Winter's Bone that was like.
Oh, that's set in Arkansas, isn't it?
No. Oh shit! Sorry, Winter's. It's a different one. It's like a fantasy thing.
Oh, okay.
Winter's something. And the girl who plays Sybil from Downton Abbey is like the girl in it. Oh. And it's like a little bit magical. And I liked him in that movie. But it was basically just the two of them. And it was like this sweet romance fantasy thing.
Look, do you see how straight I am?
Mick fully has a picture of sexy Melissa Joan Hart pulled up on his cell phone right now.
Surprise!
That is so
I'm
acceptable.
Super straight.
So acceptable.
Okay, so I didn't like the Colin Farrell casting, but I think even that miscasting, in my opinion, pales in comparison to this pale motherfucker who comes on the screen in the last.
Why did they
seconds.
make him like Grandfather Christmas?
Okay. Well, I heard that Johnny Depp... Okay, so it turns out, you all know this, you remember this. Johnny Depp is Grindelwald. He's
dun, dun, dun.
Blah, 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 and he's in disguise as Colin Farrell. So, yeah, everybody heard you eat that Pringle. You all hungry-ass bitch eating a ranch-ass Pringle. On air. Crunch, crunch, munch, munch. Look at her go. Actually, after I finish talking, you hand me one of those Pringles, okay? No, so Johnny Depp pops out at the end. Oh, my God, it was him all along. And he's got like gross yellow white hair, And he's got eyes that are 2 different colors. I heard that was his idea, specifically his idea.
Oh, he's so smart.
Oh, he's brilliant. What a talented man. And he looks kind of like maybe an albino person. Like, doesn't he look like he has a bit of albinism in him or something? He's very...
It's not cute.
It looks... Yeah, it's not cute. And it's also doesn't look real. You
and
know
I
what I mean?
To
It's very
say,
costumey look.
Learning about the casting of Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, and then seeing... And, like, everybody can have different feelings, but then seeing a sexy Jude Law, in my very personal opinion, as a young Dumbledore who's working it in his little Dumbledore pants with his little Dumbledore butt. I'm just, like, very into it. Which is only in the trailer so far because we haven't seen the second movie yet. Mm-hmm. But thinking of them together, which... the queer aspect is, like, a whole nother story.
Yeah,
but,
we'll get into that
but
in the
thinking
next
of them
episode.
together, which... is a very real possibility. Though, to be fair, we don't know if the Grindelwald love was unrequited.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Grindelwald was known to be a master of deception and a man of many faces to get what he wanted. So it's also entirely possible that the love was, like, unrequited in a real way, even if it was reciprocated in a manipulative way. You know what I mean?
100%.
So anyways.
We saw a lot of that kind of grooming shit in this.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
the way he treated,
with Ezra Miller's,
Credence.
Credence, yeah.
Yeah, he groomed the fuck out of that boy. It was
very
very creepy.
much.
Some of those scenes I was like, ugh.
It definitely had a tension that was like, ugh.
Yeah.
But see, just thinking of them together, like, it does not compute, and they do not look cute together.
No,
it is not cute.
No,
and there's so many better choices. Benedict Cumberbatch would have made a sexy Grindelwald.
One of the most obvious choices. Maybe they couldn't afford him. Maybe he literally bankrupted the entire company.
Actually, and this is, like, actually a fact I read online. If you put Benedict Cumberbatch in the same room as Eddie Redmayne, the world just implodes upon itself. Like, it just, the black hole reverses and we all die. So that's actually why Benny always sits out the award shows, because Eddie's always accepting awards. So Benny's like, I'm going to sit this one out. This is your show, but the Golden Globes are mine.
Yeah,
got a new season of Sherlock coming up.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate them for protecting our world. You know, it's the superheroes we deserve.
Everybody wears a cape of many colors.
I think I agree with you. Benedict Cumberbatch is my number one choice. I'm not even a huge
sexy.
I'm not like a big fan of his. Like, I like him plenty, but I'm like not like a fangirl of his. But he's perfect for this role.
He looks like a dark ass wizard.
Yes, Mike. When he played Smaug the dragon. Hello, goodbye.
Schmaug.
The great and terrible.
And then, of course, he plays everybody's favorite punk-ass American wizard, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so he's already a fucking wizard.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's already got the cape.
I also think, now this is a little bit more outside the box, but what about, I always forget how to say his first name. Everyone's going to make fun of me. Joaquin Phoenix? Joaquin?
You said it just right.
Joaquin Phoenix? I think he would make a very interesting
choice.
Right? Like, kind of
chiseled and
like,
evil. Mm-hmm. Chiseled and evil.
Mm-hmm. And his little scar. Yes. Ooh, couldn't you see it?
Actually, him and J-Law.
You can see them making out, can't you?
Wait,
I can imagine
but not,
that.
That's what they call Jennifer Lawrence. J-Law's and Jude Law's and your boy young Dumbledore.
Yes.
Hell yes.
I would watch them kiss. Yes, I would. That's hot to me. I think they would have chemistry.
I love it. Okay. Speaking of chemistry, there's no way Johnny Depp and Jude Law have chemistry.
No.
In
this
what
is gonna be,
world?
I think it's going to be a bit painful, honestly, to watch them.
Can he just overtake someone else who is more attractive's body?
I think that's a good idea.
He's like,
I think
now
he should.
this person. I'm suddenly Benedict Cumberbatch.
Tom Hardy. Why not? That's another one I thought. Now, see, that's a whole different direction again. But we don't know. See, that's the thing. Grindelwald can look like anyone. And they chose, like, not even hot Johnny Depp, but, like,
it's a
ugly Johnny Depp.
Confusing choice.
What about...
domestic abuse aside. Otherwise, that's problematic. But even that aside, it's a confusing choice.
Exactly. Just, I'm agnostic on Johnny Depp because there have been allegations... I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of his. I haven't really followed. Some of the allegations are upsetting. Domestic abuse. Also some, like, something to do with his housekeeper or something, like abusing his housekeeper and, like, drug abuse allegations and all this stuff. Look, I don't know about that. I'm not going to speak to it. But I'm just like, I need a break from Johnny Depp. I'm so sorry to say this aloud. Probably some people just had heart attacks and died. But I've had enough for a while.
He's done some things really well. And those times in those films have passed.
Mm-hmm.
The times in the films that he has done really well are gone.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore.
Edward Scissorhands, goodbye. It's in the rearview mirror.
The things that he's doing now are trash.
Trash.
Because they're just a new Pirates of the Caribbean film.
Exactly.
And I'm not here for it. And like, it's like, I don't know, because it's like on one hand, it's like, oh, he's still trying to like be himself and do his career. But like, it's played out. Like, the casting directors in Hollywood need to get their shit together. When you have something monumental like the prequel to the Harry Potter series, you have so much room. Anyone would want to be in that movie. Mm-hmm. You could get any actor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's an idea. What about Leonardo DiCaprio? That's out of left field. Imagine that for a second.
Damn.
He's amazing. And he's got at least as much star power as Johnny Depp. Wouldn't he make a Bear Grindelwald? I'd be more into that. Because he could seem sweet, but then be very evil. You know what I mean? And those are my favorite kinds of villains.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm into it.
I mean, any of these people. What about, here's my last one. From the King Henry VIII show, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Yes. He is inherently an evil-faced person.
He looks like a beautiful dark wizard. Couldn't you imagine? Oh my God. Who wouldn't fall in love with him also? Also
him and J-Law. Again, your boy Young Dumbledore. Which is what his rapper name is.
See?
Full title. Your boy Young Dumbledore.
Any of those castings, like, that turns me on. This casting with Johnny Depp.
It's not cute.
No, like, it's not hot.
Nobody's shipping that.
But here's the thing though, Morgie. You were talking about, like, why not some of these other people or whatever. I feel like these movies are all made for an international base. They don't have to be good. That's not the point, actually. It's same with the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They might not do that well in America, but in China, they're going to take bajillions of dollars.
They're doing great.
So it's like, and that's what they care about, is the money, which is fine, I guess. And if it makes more people happy.
No, it's not fine. It's not fine, though, because your girl J-Raw, she came from this humble background.
She wrote shit on napkins.
She
had water at the cafe.
Shit. At the Elephant Cafe, which I ate at when I was in Edinburgh earlier this year. They make a delicious pie selection, of which I had many. So and she's so good with her money. She puts her money to good. She does good. She's very philanthropic, and she gives back to her fan base. So to me, the thought of like, well, who gives a fuck? It's for the money in the international audience is like, to me, it's like a personal affront. Because it's like, you're supposed to be making these things for your fan base, and you're not listening to your fan base right now.
Or what about just make it for yourself? Like we saw with the Harry Potter books. And I think also, frankly, I know people disagree with The Cursed Child. Like, she writes quality stuff.
Sure.
She makes quality work, you know? I don't think, personally, the Fantastic Beasts movie, the one I've seen so far, lives up quality-wise to what came before.
I don't think so either. And like I was saying, I think it has a good story arc, and it has a lot of potential. I think it had a weak beginning. I think there's still possibility for future movies to be much better than this film. Especially because the plot line was really weak for this one, because the whole plot line basically ended with a big reveal. And so when you're building up to that, like, I think the most important thing in this movie was the unmasking of Grindelwald.
Because essentially nothing else has changed except there's one more Thunderbird in North America.
Right.
If you look, I mean, honestly, and Credence characters changed, but like for the main characters, they're all the exact same.
Like Newt showed up in New York. He lost some beasts. He got the beast back. A little kid unleashed his inner demon.
But evidently he's fine.
And then all the wizards put everything back in place. And, oh, look, it's Grindelwald. That's literally the plot of the film.
I mean, the sisters pretty much changed not at all. Queenie and Tina. I mean, they changed. Like, Tina gets her job back. Queenie falls in love with a muggle. But they're the exact same people. Jacob doesn't change. I mean, it really is. It's pretty basic. Yeah.
But it's got potential for future story arcs with the Grindelwald stuff. So I don't know if like, say, movie 5 is the peak of the Grindelwald battle, and that's like the resolution. Girl, we're like almost a decade out from that.
Yeah.
We're easily 5 years away from that.
Oh, at least. So
that's a big build up for like the climax of the point of the entire series. And okay, granted, the Harry Potter stuff, the arc of like bringing Voldemort down is like a long period. But every story in between had substance. Mm-hmm. And based on this
he faced Voldemort every time.
Every time, yeah. But based on the substance of this first film, like, how are we going to get from here to there with anything quality? Yeah. I'm not saying it can't be done and that it won't be done, but show me the money.
Yeah, exactly. We need to see it, my queen. You know what? There is one thing that I realized that I appreciate this movie for that I hadn't really ever realized before. You know, at the end of the movie, after all the fighting's done and the old Thunderbird flashes everyone like a man in black and everybody forgets why it happened, right? Because the rain touches them or whatever. Also, that didn't make sense, by the way. I'm sorry I'd hate to be this person.
Track.
Well, it's like, okay, it's raining and then people take a drink of water from the tap and you expect me to believe that the rainwater has gone all the way through the city system.
Now, look, we know that from the time the dark times we're in right now in Austin, Texas on October what day is it? 24th?
October. We ain't got no clean water.
We are on a boil water notice because our water's like dirty as fuck.
Yep.
Because of our filtration systems having trouble pumping the water through.
Flash flooding and silt building up at the plant.
And we know they ain't taking that fresh water from the sky and turning it around in 0.3 seconds.
No, it sure enough is not happening. Fake news, Harry Potter. Fake news, Harry Potter. And this was back in the 1920s. The plumbing was worse. So I'm just saying, but that doesn't really matter. But I was watching them put New York back together, right? After that happens, the wizards walk around like fixing New York. And here's what I realized in that moment. If wizards existed, like if this universe was real, there is no way they would be hiding from muggles. They would be in charge of fucking everything. Like, there is no way they wouldn't be pulling the strings on all that.
That sounds like Voldemort talk to me.
Right? But I mean, it's just
You're like, it's
ain't just wrong. Impossible. No. I mean, I'm not saying
you're like, I'm
a
nationalist.
Dominate. Oh, God. Yeah, me and Trump, both nationalists. Oh, my God. Idiot. If you want to say you're a nationalist, if you're saying you love your country, that's called patriotism. That's the word you use. Nationalism has bad connotations.
Yeah, well.
Mr. Trump.
Preaching to the choir.
Not my president. But I'm just saying, like, with that amount of power, they would not be hiding. It just doesn't. No, I don't believe it.
It's insane. Also,
it just doesn't track.
Also, like, okay, yeah, being a muggle, you would feel inferior to, like, your wizarding neighbors and your wizarding
pretty
friends.
Much, yeah.
But you could also live a much cooler existence because, Kakowski, what's his name?
Oh,
Kelly Kapowski?
Jacob Kowalski. No.
Kowalski?
Kowalski, yeah. Kowalski, yeah.
Okay,
Polish.
so he, muggle as fuck, like, when he had magic introduced into his life, I think he could have been perfectly, like, and maybe this happens, but, like, he could be with Queenie and be perfectly happy being this, like, quote-unquote inferior muggle to her, but, like, also being touched by her magic and her gifts and, like, the imagination and amazingness that comes with magic. Like, they have clubs with little goblin women that sing
the first time we ever saw Lady Goblin, right?
Yes.
That's the very first time she was singing that speakeasy. Yes. And I was like, that's a Lady Goblin. I never seen them.
So, like, there's that, and then there's, like, there's fantastical beasts that you can learn. There's just, like, a whole nother world that it's like, yeah, you might feel inferior, and there would be some resistance and some hate, which is what happens with all classes and manners of people. Yeah. But you're right. They would be the people in charge, and we, the unfortunate people who might end up being muggles, would still benefit from living alongside them. And also, they could protect us in like, new and amazing ways.
Yeah, imagine an asteroid comes hurtling towards the Earth. I don't want fucking Bruce Willis on a spaceship. I want fucking 15 wizards, because they can take care of that shit.
Girl, and they don't need a spaceship.
Alien invasion. Girl, get the wizards on it. Girl, global warming. Wizards got it. Yeah. Whales dying. Wizards can help them. Oceans rising. Wizards gonna take, the plug out the bathtub.
Yeah, make it lower.
I mean, it just, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of stuff when you go too deep into the Harry Potter universe, when you're a fucking adult super fan like we are, you're like, but how do the economics work? Fair enough. She wasn't thinking about that.
You're like, but who changes the cat litter in the common rooms?
Exactly, which we literally have bitched about before. Yeah. But what I'm saying is at a very base human nature kind of level, this is not how it would go down. The wizards would be in control, even if it was secretly. They would. There's no way. So anyway, I don't know. That's fine. It doesn't bother me, really, too much.
Okay, so we have the American faction of the wizarding world. Mm-hmm. Literally having a crisis in New York with, like, a crazy magical force that is destroying the city.
Yeah.
They don't have like an international faction of people to like congregate together. Like, where's the United Nations?
Well, I guess they do. Remember when old boring brunette runs in and they're like all those wizards from all over the world?
Oh, were they all foreign people?
Yeah, because there was that English guy who knew Newt and knew his brother, and there was like an African wizard. Like
okay, I don't remember witch. That, but they're okay. So
she did call them all in. Oh, Miss President was like, y'all need to get here immediately.
Okay,
because shit has been gone down.
Yeah.
But still, it's not fully fleshed out, and that's fine. She's not Tolkien. Okay,
I think the basis of Fantastic Beasts is. Like, one short summary is it's just not fully fleshed out.
Yeah. But maybe they will. Maybe they'll flesh as
we fully believe they have the potential to bring more to the table. Though we have already discussed at length that they have done fans and the storyline a disservice in many ways for the second film. They have said that they're not going to openly say that Dumbledore is gay or explore his relationship with Grindelwald. I personally am holding out hope that they heard the negative feedback on that and can pivot and will pivot.
I hope
if
so.
Not in the second film, like
at least in
perhaps they'll reveal it in the third film. I'm not saying that they will.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we haven't seen the film yet. We don't know what's going to happen. That's a thing that they said they weren't going to address, and we the people said, not my Harry Potter. That's not the world that I live in. Where my boy, young Dumbledore, be trying to get him some.
Why he wear those fuck me pants?
Girl,
if he ain't gonna get fucked.
Those little Dumbledore buns, though.
Girl, you go squeak squeak.
I'm living for Jude Law's young Dumbledore. Like, when I heard that casting, I was like, I'm here.
It's
and then
nice
when I
see
it,
it's nice to see him being attractive again. Because, for a while he's playing real ugly characters. Do you remember that phase?
No.
He went through a phase,
I don't remember.
Maybe 5 years ago or so, where he was playing lots of just, like, gross looking characters on purpose, and I was like, this is great. I'm glad to see you can do this, Jude Law, you know what I mean? But like, no,
I'm not sure about that, but I will say he went through this mad phase where he was like a rom-com hottie, not rom-com, but like a dramedy hottie. And I was there for it, but it was also like he's just kind of played out because he's just like, that's the only thing he can kind of do. And then he got to play Watson in the American version of Sherlock, which is not as good as the BBC version of Sherlock. But he was kind of cute in that. It was different. But I think for him, this has got to be like one of the roles of a lifetime for him, because it's like it diversifies his portfolio in a really great way, and it puts him in like a mega fandom. And like, in what world is like, oh my god, you get to be Dumbledore? Like, that's just like, that's just incredible. To me, I think like he probably feels like #blessed about that. And then I just think like, it's nice to see his young, pretty face with like that nice scruffy beard. And like, he has one of the more beautiful English accents, I think. Like, it's very soft and elegant, and he's like funny in a way. I just think they crushed it with that casting. So I'm just excited about that. That's one thing I'm looking forward to.
Well, I will tell you, I was going to save this for episode 2, but actually, we'll probably be talking a lot about the specific movie for the Crimes of Grindlewald.
Is it other problematic things?
No. We'll talk about that. I want to see exactly what they mean by it's not explicit when it comes to the queerness, and then I'll speak on that, because I've already gone off. I forget which episode, but I've gone off about it. And I'm just gonna...
Did you also hear about, so they revealed in the trailer that Nagini was a woman, an Asian woman, and then I was reading, and she's this type of animal that's not an animagus, but she's like cursed to be like this animal
or something.
Yeah, and there's like a name for that type of animal or creature, and that creature is rooted in like an Asian folklore, which is why she has been cast as an Asian woman. But the Asian woman they cast is not the nationality of like the origin of the folklore, and then Nagini, the name, is from a different origin. So we have like 3 different like Asian things being smashed into one, and so
sounds like white people.
So the fan base is saying like, in your eyes, you're like, you've been seen. Diversity, but in our eyes, you're saying all Asian things and people are the same.
I feel that. Yeah, I think that's very valid.
So that's a problematic thing that people are also like upset about. That's being chattered about.
Well, and I think some people might be like, "Oh, give them a break. Like they just want to make a fun little magic movie." But I'm like, "Girl, the bajillions and bajillions of dollars behind this franchise and the talent we know that Rowling possesses, and they can't fucking like." I don't know. I'm gonna save it until I see it.
Sure,
but
because we haven't seen it, we don't know what the
standards are high. But it's because this is like a few things in our life have gotten more resources than Harry Potter.
Well, and the standards
are high. It needs
to
be choice because the best we can produce.
It is important and it does matter.
It does,
and like
it matters to queer people. It matters to people of Asian heritage. Like. That shit matters. Representation matters.
It matters so much to the world at large that representation is a huge factor and a big part of what didn't exist in the original series. And it's like now that you're creating these new things and they're canon, this is your time to right the wrongs of like what you did and didn't do previously. So it's like I think you're right. I think even if they fix these problematic things, people would find something else to be angry about. Like that, I think that's a fact. I think people are just always going to find something to be mad about. But I think in these 2 particular instances that they do really matter.
I think there's a lot of validity.
And I think that they had tried a little harder.
Yeah.
They could have fixed this before there were problems.
Yeah. Maybe spend, I don't know, $500 left on craft service and put that towards research. You know what I mean?
Girl, don't you take away their little finger Sammies?
I know. And everyone does love a finger Sammy. I regret that. But I mean, just find the money somewhere. Okay? Do some
just
research.
Like pull it out of your wallet. You're rich as
Girl,
fuck.
Or you can just go on Wikipedia and do it for free. I mean, really, that's what we fucking do.
Or you can just like poll your fan base. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
They'll tell you.
Yeah, literally use the internet hive mind. You know, I mean, there's very little excuse to me, honestly. Yeah. So I'm not like mad. I'm not like in my feelings about it. I was earlier.
Yeah.
I was both. But I've decided...
We're mature adults. We're going to just see what happens.
I'm going to give Rowling enough rope, and hopefully she just plays skip rope with it. But if she accidentally hangs herself, metaphorically, of course, with that rope, then we'll talk about that when it happens.
I'm going to say, if you want to hear a full further discussion of the anger behind the possibility of not playing out a Dumbledore Grindelwald romance... Please see probably the last 20 episodes we recorded.
Yeah, we talked.
I feel like we were really mad about it for like a hot minute.
I think, was it, you know what? I think it was one of the 2-part Deathly Hallows episode is where we went into this, I think. And we like went on, so I was full of feelings at that time.
All in the soapbox. That was circa like Facebook trolling times.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. When I spent a whole day fucking going off on Facebook.
Mick called
and
into
Reddit.
work. He said, hello, I'm here.
No, I had the day off, but I literally spent more than 12 hours doing that online. What time are we at, Morty?
52 minutes.
We're at 52? Do you think we can fit in a little game real fast?
Oh, I think we got plenty of time.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to say about... I feel like
honestly, I think we covered everything pretty thoroughly. I think even with the problematic stuff, of course, we're here to find out what the next one's about. We've already said we're going to throw our money at all the things. So, like...
Though there is a limit. There is a limit. If I am disappointed in the second and the third... that might be it for me. It's hard for me to say that because it's obviously one of the main obsessions of my life. But if she really doesn't write in anything that's explicitly queer in the next 2 movies, then I feel then fine, I get the message and I'm done, you know? And that's going to be fucking hard, man. That's going to be fucking hard, but I'll do it. Because I'm not second class. My relationship should not be hinted at or, just a bit of wordplay or one significant glance. And if she wants to sell queer people and ironically Asian people, sell us off so she can do well in China, then that's her decision. And we all make decisions.
I guess we're just going to have to see what happens.
See, now I'm getting hot about it. Let's play a game.
Let's do it.
Because we got back into it. I start feeling my feelings. Okay, so I've got a game for you, Morgie. It's called, not very creative, Name That Fantastic Beast. Okay. So I've got the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book.
Ooh,
right? Ooh,
property of Harry Potter on the front.
I got his notes all through it.
It's got little claw marks on it. He should really take better care of his literature.
Well, he's a first year. They're not very good. Or second year. No, when did he get this? This is the one that isn't in the book. It has fangs and comes to life.
That's the Monster Book of Monsters.
Oh, you true.
Yeah.
So this is his year 1, I guess, or 2.
That sounds right. I think Newt Scamander was an early on thing.
Okay. So it's easy enough. I'm just going to read a description. You tell me if you know the magical creature, the Fantastic Beast.
Got it.
And then I'll give you a bonus point if you know where it's from.
Oh.
Where to find them, right?
Oh.
Where to find them. Okay, so this is number 1. This is an extremely rare protected species of bird, completely round with a very long, thin beak, glistening jewel-like red eyes. It's an extremely fast flyer that can change direction with uncanny speed and skill, owing to the rotational joints of its wings. In one time, was in danger of being hunted to extinction by wizards. The species is now protected. Do you have a guess?
Is a pygmy puff.
It's a really good guess, yeah. It's a snidget, which is the original golden snitch.
Okay, see, when you said the wing thing, I was like, sounds like a snitch, but that's not an animal. Interesting.
But they would use the snidget, but then it became endangered. So now they have the snitch, and there are snidget sanctuaries that exist worldwide.
Fascinating.
Right?
Wait, where'd you say they were from?
Let me guess. Well, I already told you, but it's just worldwide.
Sub-Saharan Africa.
Good guess. A bonus point for you, my friends. Worldwide is all it says. I didn't even know that was a real bird.
But also, just to be fair, worldwide's not a geographical location.
That's true.
But
you know what?
Like
you know who we can blame for that is old Newt Scamander.
Yeah. That fucking idiot. Yeah. Actually, let's delete this episode and just read him to Phil.
Let's go.
We are done.
Pigeon-toed, knock-kneed
little sallow cheek, Twittering ass little
girl,
bitch.
This old pussy. Look, if a girl makes eyes at you like that, you fucking go for it,
this
motherfucker.
This little ginger pussy ass motherfucking skank hoe.
You don't be like, ooh, I've got a strawberry muff. I'll send you my book from England.
He's wearing black boots with his brown ass suitcase.
Man, this motherfucker ain't got no style, ain't got no balls, and he don't walk right.
But he does look pretty cool. I like his outfit a lot. He's so
cute. Okay. Next up. I think you're going to get this one. I believe in you. I really do. Okay. I'll give you a hint. You may or may not see this in the movie. This is a fluffy, black, long-snouted burrowing creature with a predilection for anything glittery. Stop me if you know. Often kept by goblins to burrow deep into the earth for treasure. They are gentle and even...
It's a niffler!
You got it! Yes, a niffler. They live in layers up to 20 feet below the surface.
Okay, you didn't even give me an option for a bonus point?
No, you have an option now. Where do you think?
Arizona.
Really good guess, John McCain. No, it's a British beast. So that's 1 point for you.
Oh, he would be. He likes some crown jewels.
Yeah, okay. CB one of those Queen Elizabeths.
A British beast. Okay.
I have to say, the locations and where to find them in here are not very...
It's be more specific.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, but where? Okay, it's fine. Okay, next up. A small cat-like creature with flecked, speckled, or spotted fur. outsized ears, and a tail like a lion's. Intelligent, independent, occasionally aggressive. If it takes a liking to a witch or wizard, it makes an excellent pet. And it has the uncanny ability, stop me if you know, to detect unsavory or suspicious characters. Can be interbred with cats. Licenses are required for ownership.
Do we meet this animal physically?
In the books, you do. In the original books. In fact, you meet this animal many, many times, perhaps.
That face.
I'm making some prune-ass faces over
He's
here.
like,
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Because it's not really a hint. This is Hermione's pet. Hermione has a pet that's not just a cat. It seems like a cat, but it's not a cat. We've talked about this in other episodes. This is, what's Hermione's cat's name?
Crookshanks.
Crookshanks is a Kneazle. Or a Kneazle, maybe. I don't know if that K is silent. Kneazle.
Yeah.
We talked about this before. In fact, I think even you came with the fan theory that he was like half Kneazle or something. Kneazle. I don't know how to say this word.
Well, listen, the knowledge that I have of Harry Potter sometimes gets buried because there's so much of it.
There's just so much knowledge in there. Yeah. And so
does the
room.
Kneazle originate from Northern Ireland?
You know what? I'm going to give it to you because it's originally bred in Britain but exported worldwide. So I'm going to give it to you. Because Britain, Northern Ireland.
I mean, it's Great Britain.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they meant GB and just said B. You know, I've been there. Sometimes you think, ooh, this is going to be a good bee, and it's just a bee.
Is every beast just British?
No, but that's what I was talking about. I was like, we're all these fucking things in England. But not all of them.
Okay.
No, not all of them. Okay, next up, there's only 2 more, okay?
Okay.
Don't cheat, Morgan. I see you looking.
Oh, I
see you looking, but you can't come in.
Your old scribble-ass handwriting.
Looking. Hey, don't make fun of my handwriting. Some people think my handwriting's pretty.
Okay.
They do, and every time someone says it, you say,
Shocking. Shocking.
You hate my handwriting. Okay, next up. A horned pale green water demon. This is found in lakes. Yeah. It feeds on small fish, is aggressive towards wizards and muggles alike, although merpeople have been known to domesticate it.
Fuck.
Very long fingers, which, though they exert a powerful grip, are easy to break.
We learned a lot of those fucking things when Lupin was around, and it's like... And before, and with Lockhart, and it's just like, which is it? A Hinky Punk?
Oh, you're so close.
It's the other one.
It's a Grindylow.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. No, maybe you would have gotten
I wasn't gonna get there.
You were so close. Yeah. These are the things, aren't they, in book 4 that grab him when he's under the lake?
He's under the water. Yeah.
Any guesses on where it's found? I'm gonna give you half a point for that because you were close enough.
Found in water.
The
English Channel.
That's why no one ever gets across. Well, yeah, I'll give it. I mean, not really, but in lakes throughout Britain and Ireland. Yeah, Britain and Ireland. So I'm gonna give you a point.
In Loch Ness.
Yeah, probably. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, that's Scotland, so no.
But that's part of the British Empire.
It is. Very confusing to me.
Yeah.
UK geography.
Yes, and Northern Ireland is part of the Empire, but Ireland is not.
And Ireland is not connected to England, but Scotland is? Which one's connected, which one's not?
Ireland and Northern Ireland are an island.
Okay. Scotland is connected.
But they're together. It's just like there's literally just a border down the middle. Yeah, it's just
a bridge. Or like
and that's what's so bad about Brexit is there's going to be a hard border because now you don't have to use a passport, but they're leaving, so now there's going to have to be some sort of border wall or something, and they don't want that. They want a free border.
Yeah,
because it's already very tense there.
Well, but then Scotland is connected to England. Or Scotland's also
parts of Scotland are also has islands. So England is an island.
Yes.
And then the British Isles are like other little isles off of there, and Scotland is a series of islands. But you can get to mainland Scotland from England just on a train. It's like a 3-hour train from London or something.
Okay. Yes.
But the all of it's an island.
Yes,
it's
but then there are other Scottish Isles.
Then there's other Scottish Isles.
Good Lord, no wonder it's confusing, right? I think I could be forgiven. That's some confusing geography. And also, like, Wales, right? Which is Europe.
That's a different
That's
country.
part of Europe.
Yeah.
But that's also part of the UK. Oh, no, I thought Wales was part of the UK. Wales is not part of the UK. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares? Next up. Okay, this is the last one.
I don't know about Wales.
I think Wales is part of the UK, but probably, I bet English people all over the world are literally smashing teacups in their hands. You fucking
They're
idiots.
kicking all their hordes of corgis.
Fucking idiots. To them, I would like to say, name all the states in the Old South. Okay? Or to them, I would like to say, name all the breadbasket states
How many
in America.
Virginias are there, British people?
We don't even have to talk about the U.S. Can you name all the provinces in Canada? No, fuck no, you can't. And don't front with me. Just eat your crumpet, sit the fuck down.
How many states does Yellowstone National Park cross? Riddle me this.
I don't even know that. 3.
3.
Oh, that was a guess. Woo! I mean, I knew that all along, actually. Okay, last one, my friend. Last one. Now, this shows up in the Fantastic Beasts, okay? In the movie.
Okay.
But I didn't know what it was called. Maybe
they made up a bunch of shit. I mean, they pulled it from this book, but to me, they made it up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, this is around half an inch long, a vivid sapphire blue. It moves at such a speed that is rarely noticed by muggles and often not by wizards. Its wings are attached to the top of its head and are rotated very fast so that it spins as it flies. At the bottom of the body is a long, thin sting. Those who have been stung by this creature suffer giddiness followed by levitation, and generations of young wizards and witches have attempted to catch them and provoke them into stinging in order to enjoy the side effects.
I think what you're describing is MDMA.
Well, you know, the dried stings of this creature are believed to be the component in fizzing Whizbees that makes them whiz. The candy. Yes. So maybe so.
MDMA suckers is what I'm hearing.
No, you don't know this one, do you? I didn't know this one either. These are called billywigs. And you see one of them loose.
I know that word now that you've said it.
Oh, sure.
But I never would have pulled that word. I never would have said those words.
No.
In any capacity.
Do you have a guess as to where it might live? Think an island we haven't talked about yet. This episode, at least.
Hawaii.
Oh, so close.
I mean, Samoa. I meant Iceland.
Good day, mate.
Australia's
that's what you
I was
meant.
trying to say.
Yes. Okay, so you get no points.
So it's either in England or in countries that sound like people are from some part of England.
Essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't look through each and every one of these, but the Bowtruckle is in England, but also Germany. Yes, a little stick bug looking thing, and certain Scandinavian forests.
Oh, Norway.
Yeah. Good job, Morgie. You got, out of a possible 10 points.
I got 4 pity points or something?
You got 4.5 points.
4.5 pity
almost
points.
A 50% F. Good for you, my friends.
Wow.
45% F.
That's a high note to go out on, for sure. A 45% F is also what I would give the script of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I would give it, genuinely, I wouldn't be quite that low. I'd be like a 65.
Yeah.
Like not, maybe passing, but not by a lot.
It's like we see what you were trying to doing, and you got Eddie Redmayne on board.
Yes, and that's a whole letter grade bump for me.
And the costuming is really good.
Maybe a C for Eddie. Yeah.
But
and the
like,
costume is beautiful.
I never really want to see it again.
No.
And for me, that's wild.
Yes.
For like a fantasy thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
How often have you reread the books? Like 40 billion times. You just reread them all over again. And spent like thousands of dollars living like a full Harry Potter fantasy lifestyle. You know what I mean?
I do really like it.
You really like it.
I really like it.
So I really think it says something. You even more than me, because I'm not as much of a rereader and like person as you are.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't want to rewatch this movie, that says something definite.
I will say I also don't like rewatch all the Harry Potter movies. Like I've watched them in like recent years, but like if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna read the book. But also like I have seen the movies a ton of times. The point is I don't ever want to see this movie again, and that's wild.
Yeah.
Too bad. Discussion. So that's gonna bring us to the conclusion, because we got some mad Pringles we're about to eat.
Girl, these
and
Pringles,
y'all don't want to hear that. Yum, yum, yum. So, I think we had some feelings about Fantastic Beasts. We're going to see how it goes with number 2, and we are going to do a follow-up episode. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to actually watch the second movie first because we want to know how we feel.
Yeah.
We love to speculate and, like, trash talk and, like,
but we've
assume.
essentially been doing that for a year now, over, like, 20 different episodes.
Yeah.
We have speculated the fuck out this
So we're ready to find out and, like, tell you guys what's the facts.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So catch that in a couple of weeks, and thank you for tuning in. Please rate, review, share us, tell your friends. Don't tell my boss, but like tell other people. And like, please follow us on social media. We put everything in the show notes, so you just go there, do a little clicky click. You can find us on all the social medias at B&Bcast or at Beauty and the Bitch.
But not on Facebook though.
No, we're not on Facebook.
We're on Facebook?
We're on Facebook as fuck.
Fuck your mouth. Fuck
Yes,
your
girl.
mouth. Shut your mouth before I fuck it.
Okay. And you know where else we are? YouTube.
No, the fuck we're on YouTube.
Yeah, we have every episode on YouTube.
Every single episode?
Okay, well, except for just one.
We don't know what happened to that
And
one.
listen, we're not sorry anymore.
Well, you can only be sorry for so long. This was an act of God.
And
it just
honestly,
disappeared.
We don't know. Get over it.
Yeah, stop hounding us.
You can find our great video game playthroughs on there.
Let's Queer Witcher 3. Got that for you, sweet baby.
Most of our episodes.
Yeah, except for that one.
And everywhere else, wherever you get your podcasts. So be sure to follow us, babies. We love you.
Bye. Oh, wait, do you have a plug?
No.
Okay, I was just going to say, very quickly, I'm so sorry. You should buy Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which was a book that Rowling came out with in like the early 2000s for Comic Relief, which is an English charity. And you can find it online. If you have a Harry Potter addict in your life who doesn't own this and the companion book Quidditch for the
posers.
Ages, they are posers. You need to get them this for their collection so they're real fans.
I would just like to plug ranch flavored Pringles.
Oh my god.
Because that is what I'm living for.
I know, they're really good though, aren't they?
They're really good. So, into podcasts. That's what I stand
I
by.
love it. And
done.
Bye.
Do you have a home? Beauty in the Bitch.
You look.
Beauty in the Bitch. Beauty in the Bitch.
Beauty in the Bitch.